Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our talkback section, which is called Actorspokee. Thank you so much for sticking around during the film. We had such a great time making it. Hope you had a good time watching it. We're going to get into some of the nitty gritty, and we invited the director for this particular episode to join us today. We're going to go around our little virtual table here. Everybody's going to introduce themselves and let you know what they did for this particular episode. I'm Sarah Moore. My pronouns are she, her. I was that very talkative sword, Beatrice. She just has a lot to say. And I have a feeling that she's not done for this season. If you are looking for me anywhere else on the internet, I am Pixies and Pins pretty much everywhere. And you can also find me here on Friday nights on Sarah's Table. This week, I'm going to be playing a game called Dead After Dinner, where we kill the patriarch and then squabble over his will. So we'll see you at 5 p.m. on Friday for that. Let's hop on over to the person right next to me. So, Peter, what did you do for this episode?
I had the directing duty off. I got to take a break from directing. All I did on this episode was edit it. And I had so much fun editing the footage that Rennie directed and put together. It was great. It was so fun. I've seen this film now 20 times, and just now watching it, I'm laughing like the whole time. I'm Peter Atkinson. I'm on Gen Con TV, Actoroke. You can find me. Actually, probably the best way to find me is just through Sarah. Yeah,
that's true. Just hit me up. I'll let you know where he is. I have tabs on him at all times. Shh, don't tell him. What about you, Steve?
Well, hello. I'm Steve Connard. I'm the scribe, I guess. I translate Mike Boozer into English. It's a tough job. Had a lot of fun with this particular episode. Was great. You know, I was reminded of Aliens when James Cameron goes, I thought Bill Paxton was going to be just annoying, everybody'd hate him, and everybody ended up loving him. And so the same thing with the sword and the bow. You know, like, am I writing these guys too annoying? I don't know. I thought they were great. Good job.
Hey, you
Perfect.
can't fix it, feature it, man. I mean, they're there. You got to run with it. You just got to play the cards we're dealt.
Let's hop on over to Mike. Who are you?
I'm Mike Boozer. I am the game master. I'm the one who runs the stuff that Steve takes, that I drive Steve with fits about writing the stuff that I run in the game. So I'm the guy that does that. Actually, I'm a he, him, and you really can't find me, so don't look. I'm the game master. I run the game. And every week and every time, and it's exciting and fun. And let's see what happens next.
Great. All right. Well, I mean, I guess that leaves only one person that we haven't chatted with. Rennie.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rennie. I was the director of this episode, and I had the pleasure of actually playing Beatrice on set. Sarah. So yeah,
you are welcome.
It was a lot of fun. I got to say that the characters are not irritating on set. One of our camera people, Rex Waters, had to sort of sub in for Hugh, even though Dylan had recorded it. So we had a good time just sort of playing it, and we laughed a lot. People were amused, and so I think that tag at the very end, where this sort of just bickering, it was just perfect. It was such a fun thing to direct and to watch happen. So those are good words. Yeah.
I was actually wondering what it was like to film that, because I feel like there was a lot of back and forth between the bow and the sword, and how often was it just like the actors hanging out while other people read stuff?
Well, we went full bore there, Sarah. So I'm sort of sitting right off camera, and then Rex was right behind me. And so they were right in it, and we were hardcore. We weren't marking the lines. We were full in it, bickering and playing it up. And I think that actually helped when we so we actually directed Dylan before that. So I think we had directed Dylan's and recorded Dylan's voiceover before we went in and filmed the sequences. And then so that helped me to know what to actually do with the character in order to provide some continuity.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I mean, like, because I got Dylan's files separate. They were like a separate package of audio files from the rest of the shoot. So as an editor, I know a way of knowing. I just assumed that you filmed him, that you recorded his VO after, but you recorded it before. Okay, well, I mean, as an editor, that's really exciting to know these things.
Well, it was we did it in order to make good use of the time, because there was a couple other actors who had not were not quite ready yet. So and Dylan was ready. So we
good.
Good.
That's actually the most important job of the director, is make good use of the time. If it's Actoroke, they've only got one night to shoot a 30-minute movie.
Well, I will tell you that I think you guys gave me a pretty easy job this time, because there was only 21 pages, not the 26 that you normally get, Peter. I don't know how you do it, but you're able to rock out those 26 pages before 10, and I really pushed that limit to the last week. So
you're getting there. It just takes a little time and practice, and also you're using off my blocking notes, so that makes it harder when you aren't, I don't know. You did great. Don't beat yourself up, man. You did fantastic. Yeah. So what did you? I mean, what was it like directing an Actoroke episode?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So for those of you who don't know, my production company, Zombie Orpheus Entertainment, sort of sits in the back, and what normally happens is people sit and act in front of the green screen, and Peter sits at a table and will help to sort of orchestrate what happens, make sure it all comes together. So in a lot of ways, Peter both produces, ADs, and directs everything all at the same time. But what happens is we have another screen where we can see all of the setups and what is being recorded. So then Peter sometimes leans on a Zombie Orpheus to let him know, like, do we have the right footage and coverage? I actually moved a screen to the director's table so that I could see what footage was, and I leaned on Leo to be the scripty. So Leo was making sure that the lines were being covered, and I was watching what was being captured. It was so I had already seen a lot of this happening, so I was coming in familiar. But it is a different thing than shooting film or doing stage. I mean, we're doing 25 pages in 4 hours, and that is an incredible thing. Also,
one and done, man. That's motto.
It's too much. It's too much.
It is a lot
for one night. It's crazy.
It is a lot. And also, we don't do a lot of action. There is some choreography, but most of it, for most of the time, it's a lot of just more static shots and framing. So there's a lot of narrative. Yeah. But I think over the last 3 years, we've really done, Peter and Steve have done an amazing job of refining how to make this work. And I got to say, I really loved how this turned out. I mean, there was, yeah.
It was great, like, listening, because as an editor, I got all the footage. So I'm seeing all and we, for anybody watching, if you're curious, we just turn the cameras on. The way we can get through that many lines, that many pages in one night, we just turn all the cameras on, light the whole space, and then just let it roll for 4 or 5 hours, however long it takes us to get through it. So I'm listening to you, Rennie. You were like calling out like camera stuff, and I'm like, oh, is the director supposed to do that?
Well, like, what do you mean? Like, what was like coming like that?
No, I mean, I noticed you were keeping. I know, you just mentioned you put a monitor up there so you could see the cameras, and I have to admit that when I'm directing, what I'm doing is I'm watching the actors for the performance, and I'm looking at the script to make sure, I don't care if they change their line a little bit, but I just want to make sure they don't miss something that's crucial to the plot.
Yeah.
And also keeping an eye on cameras. I know that most directors do that. I just can't do it. I don't have the bandwidth to be shifting my eye from the cameras to the actors to the script. Yeah. So I was impressed that you were able to do that, because I just rely, when I'm directing, I just rely on basically on Leo, make sure we get it.
Well, that's what I told Leo. Thank you very much. I told Leo to look very carefully to watch the lines, to make sure that we hit the lines correctly. So I leaned on her on that. I pay attention to the cameras because I know that that's what you need. And as much as I love working with the actors, and I was able to work with, in fact, that's what slowed me down a little bit. I think you probably noticed that, is that I was trying to sort of set, well, what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? And hopefully that did come.
Yeah, that director stuff. Yeah, that part I understood. Yeah.
So yeah, it was great fun. It was really great fun, and we have a great crew, and the cast rolled with it, and the script was fun. People had a good time.
Cool. Was there any moments, Mike, when you were watching that like surprised you in the way that it was translated to screen from the table?
This time, no. I think for the most part, every time it's translated, it's Steve does such a good job. Steve does such a good job. I'm going to compliment Steve. He's an old friend, and usually I don't compliment him because he's an old friend.
Don't compliment Steve.
But Steve does such a good job at, like, I'll say something and then he goes, "Oh, we'll take it to this level because this is what Mike's thinking, or this is what we should do in the, So he always sends me the script and I read it and I go, "It's great." I don't really usually have any feedback from Steve on the script. It's like, yeah, that's demonstratively better than all the NPCs I had to play during the role-playing session, and what they said. I mean, the kernels are in there, the things I think of, which is great. The story of the frog and the scorpion, which is just silly because it's the wrong story, and the punchline, at the end, the line is like, no, that's not the story. So, but I came up with that and I read it. I said, "Steve, wouldn't this be fun? I think this is funny." And he goes, "Yeah, that's really good. Let's do it." So, for the most part, I think, it always comes out much better than it's role played, but the role playing drives the script, which is what, you have to have. It's like everything that's happened does happen in the script, but it's enhanced, and which is always nice. When you're role playing, it's always about, you have to play, like when you guys say, "I play this character, I play this," like when you're role playing, the DM has to play Beatrice, Hugh, Roycalicus, Rodarno, all the NPCs. So it makes it tough, but you just got to have a idea of where you're going and then see what the darn player.
Do you have an NPC that you prefer to play, or conversely one that you do not like playing? Like, is there?
Well, I created Beatrice, and now it's like, oh my god, what am I got to get her out of there. Not because of
make
you.
her not a sword, and she'll be fine.
Well, that's where we're going. But Beatrice was, by the way, Beatrice is my favorite to start with, just because it was so fun. It was so interesting, and it it's going along. But now it's like, and we're kind of putting that in as like, oh yeah, these two are lunatics. I mean, they're just like, they're off the rails, So that's fun. My favorite character is Rodarno, because Rodarno is this, little more complicated character. Roycalicus is pretty straightforward. This is, I'm in charge. This is what I want. And Rodarno is like in the middle, playing both sides of the field. Can do lots of fun. So I like those two right now.
Those two characters as a pair are so amazing. I mean,
they're so good together.
It's so odd couple, and it works so well.
And as a plot device, Rodarno is so great because you can just like send him in and be like slapping the characters over the head with like, "Hey man, the plot's over here." Like anytime that you need to.
Sarah knows that the DM. Sarah absolutely knows. It's very true. You could use you could use NPCs. You just use them to go.
Please look over in this direction. I'm begging you.
Slap. Here's the info. It's right in front of your face.
Yeah, as a sort of aside, one of the, to give the audience a little nugget of things that happen in the background. So we were trying to figure out what Scott would wear and to time it out, because because Scott comes in as as Redarno, of course. Scott C. Brown plays Redarno, but there was actually two different moments, one in front of the Vim and Vigor, and then one going into the Vrykaulicus mansion. And so as I was talking with Shanch Bandersnatch and the costuming team, we were trying to figure out timing, because the getup that Redarno wears, is a lot of makeup. We call it the tout, T-O-U-T, right? But there was a lot of makeup, and that would take a lot of time to take off, and it was sort of a potential timing problem. And so we said, well, maybe Scott doesn't want to do it. And so
no, Scott will take any opportunity he can to dress in drag. I'm just saying.
It's true.
This is true. We laid it out to Scott and said, no, Peter said that I could wear that last time and I wasn't able to. I am wearing the tout. Like, Scott was adamant.
He was so mad at me that I didn't let him. When we did the movie, the Barbarians movie, and I just didn't have time for all that nonsense. He was upset.
Yeah.
Redemption. He got to put the purple wig on for this episode.
So I just put that on you, Rennie. I was just like, okay, Rennie's problem now.
Someone else will take care of it.
One of the cool things about all of this, though, doing this show, is that we get actors who are very talented, one thing, but then you give them a character that they keep on coming back to play, and they know that character, and so they just bring this level of, like, I trust them. I give them the words, I give them Steve's words, and I just say, this is your motivate. This is why you're doing this. And Scott goes, oh, okay, bam, and it's brilliant. Marcus, bam, like Marcus gave me 4 different adjustments at the very end. You saw that, Peter, in the edits, and it's just so great to work with such talented people.
So Rennie, let me tell you the part that I thought that was actually surprising and in a really, really good way. So Peter and I always watch a fine cut, early to review, and so I get to watch an earlier cut of the film.
Like really, or like way like hours ago, like
hours ago,
like we did that Wednesday morning. We did this morning.
2-3
o'clock. Plenty of time.
We watched it. Yeah.
I like only 15 items on my punch list. Yeah, we got through it.
The part that I really liked was I remember writing the scene very well, and then just the way you did it was brilliant. Like when they all like move into the dining hall and they're sitting down at the table, and Redarno's popping around giving them drinks, wine. I just like how Vrykaulicus is just staring at them, and they're all like nervous, and it's sort of like a Family Guy episode where it's extended to the point where like even the viewer's getting nervous, right? You're like, and then of course Kaz comes in, which is Dylan is great. It's like, oh hi, Vrykaulicus.
Oh hey man, how you doing?
You look great, by the way. You look fabulous, fabulous.
Yeah,
So good. Please don't eat us. You look so nice.
I'm glad you caught that, Steve. That was one of the directions I gave at the very beginning, is that you can be a little nervous, like they were you can be a little nervous. He tried to eat you before.
Yes.
Like, so that's why you're like tentative, right? But you trust Redarno. You do trust him, but you're worried about like that. And so they really played through that very consistently. But then I think I said, look, you're going to come into this place, but then it occurs to you that he just killed a witch for you. Like he just basically defeated Orthy Bob. So I think you're okay. I'm like, oh, so they're able to transition. They just did a great job transitioning. And that, again, also good writing there. So.
Yeah, Steve, masterful writing. I mean, you nail it every episode, but this episode in particular, the writing was perfect.
I agree. Totally.
Yeah, it was an interesting point about the writing and so Steve and I had a previous conversation about how I said, well, these two, Hugh and
Beatrice
have to really
Hugh and Sarah.
Hugh and Sarah. Just like I almost said Sarah. So they have, they're just gonna bicker, and we decided they're gonna bicker, they're gonna have a fight, and when I'm DMing it, I just made it as bad as I could, as far as
well, that was a great. I remember the meeting with you, Mike, you and Steve and I all got together to like start talking about this series, and I don't know really where the idea came from. I know it wasn't my idea, but it was like, well, what if these two magic items. Yeah, because they meet in the previous series and they're like, oh, lost lovers, and they're finally reunited and oh, happy forever, you know.
Yeah.
And then like new series come out, these two are just hate each other. They're just like bickering all the time. They're just gonna drive
Passionate.
you
Just
crazy.
they're passionate is what
Yeah,
it is.
It was a great device. It was, you know, that was
it's
genius.
and then well, Steve built that up in the script, which was great because I threw it all against the wall. I said, Steve, this is what I got, you know. But like when I said, he goes, oh yeah, that's fine. It worked well. So
good.
we did it. But yeah, I do like it. Yeah, they are. Sarah, to your point, I think it's like, you know, the old married couple. They know each other. You know, they
Way
just
worse.
constantly bicker. They
Yeah,
constantly
but like,
bicker. And
what
maybe
would
at
they
the
be
end-
without each other, right?
Yeah,
Like she
and
was
maybe in the
heartbroken.
end they do love each other, but it's not, you know, but they're just mad. I mean,
They put the
they're
fun
mad
in
at each other.
dysfunctional.
Yeah, they're dysfunctional.
You really do.
They're a regular dysfunctional couple.
So, you know,
Ta-da.
we where I used to live in Seattle, we had this pizzeria near our house that was called New York Pizza. And there was this old couple that had lived their entire lives in New York, and for whatever reason they moved to Seattle. And people would go in and they made great New York pizza, but they were doing like a stage show during the whole thing, and they were just bickering and yelling at each other. Like you'd go in and order pizza, and they'd just be yelling at each other the whole time. It's just like I go, is this a?
It's part of the show.
Sounds like
You get a pizza and a show.
By the way, the one thing I do like about the sword and the bow, you know, people who play D&D, you know, players want magical items. You know, they're to hoard magical items. They got like a bunch of. I just think it's funny. There's these really powerful magical items that are sentient, and they're so annoying that they just, you know, Archibald just wants like, can we just leave them here?
The magic items are cursed. It's not clear if players are cursed because of it, but they don't want them anymore. It's like, I don't care what you can do. You're just annoyed the hell out of me.
And yet they never walk away from them.
No, it's good. We'll see how that works out. That's a good one. So it's a good setup. I like the setup here we got going. So
Yeah.
just to say.
So, Mr. Dungeon Master, any hints, any clues about what's going to happen in the next episode? Any prognostications? Any spoilers?
Well, I mean, I think some things were laid out there. These two are on the run from one of the most powerful kingdoms in the world.
They got Setites after them, and they got
Setites after them. They have
Cyprian, the king.
Cyprian, the king. Some is not happy with them. They're stolen away by the mystery stable boy Sebastian,
Who is maybe dead? We don't know.
who
You killed him.
maybe
You murdered
maybe
him.
dead. You killed him. No, I didn't kill him. No, I love him. He was great. Look, who knows? Maybe Sebastian's dead. Maybe Sebastian's not dead. Let's find out. I think is how we're gonna go. But you know, it's gonna get ugly before it gets better. I can guarantee you.
Huzzah!
Well, I hope they do, in fact, go see Cosmo because I cast the actor. And
Okay.
he's in wardrobe right now. So
Ready?
Noted. Cosmo
Yeah.
is on.
Well,
yeah.
Rodarno laid it out. Go see Cosmo. Go see Cosmo, and then you probably want to go to Sheol.
And luckily, we have a actual player sitting here.
Yeah,
right
who
now.
could maybe, hopefully, is taking notes about like where the story should be going. I don't know.
But yeah,
They're
no,
behind you, Rennie.
It's going well. We've got deceit. We've got betrayal. We've got a curse. We've got everything we need.
So that's an
Sure.
interesting question for Rennie. You were a player in the RPG session that created this story. And so you sat there at the table with Mike and Lexi and Bryce and Megan and had a great time and created a story. And then it went through a process, and then you directed the screenplay with the actors. That was the adaptation. So I think that's the first. You've been an actor before, but this was certainly the first time you've directed a script that you indirectly helped create.
Yeah. So, very, very good question, Peter. Because I had played in the season one I had played an RPG character. I played a character, Armando, and then we were all testing this stuff out, and I had heard, I'd gotten the sense that maybe it wasn't me, but that there was just this interesting dynamic between the tabletop players and the actors, because some of the things that the actors were doing were not necessarily in line with what the tabletop players had been actually doing. And people weren't used to that dynamic. Like, well, no, this is what I would be doing. My character does it this way. And I don't know if it was Armando or whatever, but I just remember that happening. And so I made it a point of distancing myself from what I do at the table with what the actors bring. And so first thing, what's very strange is that Andy Doporowski had done Archibald. And so Andy had already gone one direction. And then Kyle has stepped into this role. And Kyle came to me last week and said, so can you tell me about Archibald? What do I need to know? How should I do this? And I said, so I gave them, I gave Kyle some ideas and some of the voicing, but I then said, but you're the actor and you get to take the words and move it forward. That is your job. That is not, and I will direct you, but I'm not going to have the RPG session influence that choice, because the writer is writing stuff. And so Steve has made some choices that may not have happened at the table either. And so I took
Thank
that
God.
experience that I had. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Well, that was another thing. That the table session that we had, there was no action, right? Like, we just talked the entire time at the table, and look how beautiful this script came out. Like, it was really good. It was lots of words. So anyway, it wasn't a big deal for me, because I had already mentally distances myself from the RPG, and I love what Kyle's doing. And so, you give powers to the actors and they'll take it away.
Yeah.
The funny thing was, there was a line that you said during the RPG, and I remember writing it down going, that's going straight in the script unchanged. And it did. I don't know if you noticed it. Do you remember which line that was?
No, what line was it? I say something.
Or he's like going, he goes, yeah, but our problem could be your next meal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just flat said that, and I'm like, oh, that's a great line. Our problem could be your next meal.
Keeping it.
That's right. Oh, that's right. And we were talking with the about the person who we stole the bow from. Yeah. Very good.
So, Rennie, I have one more question for you.
Yes.
You, at this point in the process now, have been a role player. You have been an actor, and now you have been the director.
Yeah.
Which do you like best?
Oh, that's really hard, because then they all bring levels of satisfaction.
You have to choose your favorite
one.
child. You have to.
Oh dear. That's horrible. That is really, really bad. I love being a guest on Actorspokee. That's
no, you can't choose that. That is a cop-out answer.
That's what a lame.
Do you have to wear a cup when you're straddling that fence, buddy? Pick a role.
Well, okay. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to pick this answer. Okay. So if I pick, I like directing. Well, Peter's the director, and I don't want to put Peter in a weird, threatened position. If I don't,
I will not threaten my boss.
Yeah. If I don't say, if I don't say RPG, then Boozer will be upset. And Boozer is also my DM on every Monday.
Wow.
So
good. Okay. So also don't upset your boss. Got it. Next.
Yes. And if I say actor, I'm not that good. So then suddenly I'd be stuck doing something that would bring down the quality of Actoroke. So
pretty good. Now, trust me, you just acknowledge I'm the director. You're pretty good as an actor. Don't sell yourself short.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing how I did in the Christmas movie.
Yeah,
really
me too.
It's for a different holiday now, Rennie. It's no longer the Christmas movie.
The Valentine's Day party.
Earth Day. The Earth Day movie.
We're backing up.
Sorry.
Halloween. Maybe Halloween movie.
Rennie, don't worry about me. You're clearly not a good RPG. Very, very easy.
Well, by the way, you know what, Rennie, you're up for next. When I go on vacation, you're going to write the next script.
Right. So you haven't written yet. You haven't written yet. So we're going to have to take an issue in doing that.
I will pick one. If I had to sit in and do just one and not do any of the others, because I really do enjoy all of them, I love directing. I really, really do. And I understand Peter loves working with actors. I love the creative, collaborative model of working with other people.
I love this. I don't want to direct every freaking episode. So good.
Wow. We have it
we can-
on stream, everyone.
We can, yeah. I got no problem not directing every single episode. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll
You'll do it again. Don't worry.
Great.
Love to have you back. I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
Rennie will RP and act and direct and write his side quest episode.
Archibald side quest.
Where it's just Archibald all the way down is what it is.
Solo adventure, right?
Solo adventure.
The Archibald in our
He's also
Mondo.
gonna
Sarah's
DM
going to
it as
DM
well.
it with
I'll
Mike.
DM it.
Yeah, Sarah's going to DM it. Okay.
All of
Yeah.
us. So instead of 4 players, there will be 4 DMs and then just one. And then you will play Archibald
Yes.
by yourself. And then
Yes.
I
you
think
have to
we
do
should do
everything
that.
else.
I think
Okay, great.
Archibald's
I'm sending out the call sheet now,
And he
and
can-
with no
he
other
can
details.
direct himself too. I mean, he can
Of course.
direct himself. But who's going to
William Shatner
edit?
does it.
Why do I always get stuck doing the
No,
editing?
Rennie will also edit. He's going to edit. One man show.
This little vein starting to pop out right here.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Listen, it's on the internet, so it has to be true.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
all.
welcome. I feel like I really helped.
Is he gonna DM his RPG session? 'Cause that
Oh my
God.
I want to see that. I want
Right.
to see it filmed.
This is going to be a weird art house piece, and I'm here for it.
I think we're
It's
all.
gonna be
I think
good.
the four of us on this call, except for Rennie, the 4 of us are going to
Will
co-DM an Archibald
Oh.
side quest.
That would be
You-
awesome.
You heard it here first.
It's all going
Blow
to
my
happen
mind.
inside Archibald's mind so that all the NPCs can also be versions of Archibald.
Yeah.
Especially Beatrice, right?
Especially Beatrice will have to be like a Beatrice. It's like maybe it's
Perfect.
it's Beatrice but wearing the hat,
Archer
like the sword,
Beatrice.
but yeah, I love it.
Well, it's
Did
pretty
we have
obvious
the
that
episode name
Archibald-
already? Sorry. Steve.
Oh no, what was the name?
Archer Beatrice.
Or to Beatrice.
Beatrice.
They could switch places somehow.
Whoa,
Oh, no.
that would be wild.
What's
Anyway,
that called,
Mike, if you
the
want to
film?
use switching
The
places,
Disney film?
um,
The parent, the mother,
the
and the
Parent
daughter.
Trap. What?
The Parent Trap. Is that the one where they switch?
Yeah.
places?
Yeah, side
Parent
quest.
Trap.
Parent Trap. No one will notice that
places.
it's a
In the-
sword instead of a man. No one will
In the
notice.
middle of the
Say-
night, Beatrice takes control of Archibald and they go off
like
on a side
like
quest.
a Freaky Friday situation.
Wild night at the Vim and Vigor.
And Archibald's running around going, "You want to hear a poem?"
Yeah.
I tell you the
It's a,
poem.
it's a classic. It's a classic plot device.
I love
But I
it.
never.
Yeah, we'll have to ADR you doing each other's lines. It'll be great.
It'll be just like Drunk History.
Yeah.
Where you have to say it.
And then
While
everyone
I'm
does.
talking.
It will
and then-
literally
Then everyone
be
does
drunk
their
history.
versions of Beatrice's line and you overlay them.
Oh, this is going to be
That'll
wonderful.
bookends with the whole Sally, the Ann Carlton episode where she plays Sally and all the different
Yeah.
crazy characters.
I'm actually getting scared that you actually are thinking about doing this.
I think we just committed to it. I think we're good.
Anyway, that's
That's
going to
how-
Peter
be.
likes to say, we could do
it's gonna be
anything
the
we want
next
because we're in
episode.
charge.
Yeah, that's right.
Those guys can do everything they want.
If we all agree on something, it's gonna happen. Like
Canon.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like perhaps we have spun to the end of our evening
Yeah.
with this. Thank you all so much for coming. Let's do a quick around the table. If anybody would like to plug anything that they have coming up. I know that a lot of you are not super active on socials, but I'm gonna make you say them anyway. So, Peter.
Yeah. All right, Sarah, tell everybody what I've got coming up.
Great, cool. Okay, Peter has some things coming up for World of Caldia. In fact, next week we'll be back here for another RPG session, which involves Mike Boozer as the DM, which I'm fairly certain that I'm also taking his right now, so he doesn't have to say anything.
Nice.
Right here on Wednesday. I think we're in February already. Then, yeah, is that real? Did I make that up?
Sounds about right.
It sounds
If you
about
go
right.
to our
February
website-
1st, Wednesday, February 1st will be the second episode, beginning of the second cycle. Second episode of series 4. It's the RPG session. And then, we have some other things coming up. World of Chaldea will continue this ongoing series. We're going to be at GaryCon in March. And one day you will see the movie that we shot before Christmas. We don't know when it's going to be. We like to keep you on your toes. It's going to be a surprise. And if you want to find Peter, you can look at World of Chaldea on all of our socials, where he has. I'm going to be nice and say he's the one that's doing it, but that's a lie. I'm doing it, but it is all his stuff. And if you want to find him, I don't know. Don't try to find him. Just call me and I'll let you know where he is. Mike, do you want to plug anything aside from the RPG session? No, Mike?
Once again, badges I work for Gen Con.
There you
I
go.
work for Gen Con. I work for Gen Con. So that's my day job. Badges go on sale this Sunday. So get on and get your badges for Gen Con. If you have any questions, you can email me or one of my associates at customerservice@gencon.com for any information about how to get your badge.
Yeah. Or if you just want to let Mike know he's doing a great job as a DM.
Sure.
Or tell him that he looks nice today. You can also tell him that.
I did get one of those compliments. It was really nice.
See, that's nice. It's a good boost.
Yeah.
Steve, do you want to plug anything besides Actoroke?
Well, I mean, when I'm not writing scripts, one of the things I do on my other hat is I maintain our website. I'm like a one-man band. Well, Moon helps me. Just tech.
Two-man band.
Yeah. Anyway, so we have a lot of cool stuff on the website. If we're slow, I apologize. I'm probably writing or doing something else. But anyway, you can go there. We have all of our art, all the information about our actors. We try to keep update their stats, their socials. Anyway, also you can get a hold of us through me or Peter. Our email addresses are on the site. So I'm not on social. Sorry, I'm boring.
You can email Steve, tell him how great his scripts are. If you
or not. You could have done better.
Right. I mean,
They're great.
constructive criticism.
I saw a typo in there.
It's okay to receive, Steve. It's okay to receive.
Yeah.
It's okay. Rennie, what do you have coming up?
Oh, yeah. So you can find me on various socials as Rennie Francis or Rennie.Eructo on Twitter. Also, Zombie Orpheus Entertainment. So if you go to zombieorpheus.com, we have lots of great stuff coming up. But I wanted to tell you about a really fun thing. My son has never played Dungeons and Dragons in his life. And he's a sporty guy who does that type of thing. But he came to me 2 weeks ago and said, hey, me and my buddies want to play D&D. We want to play D&D. And I said, hey, how would you like to stream your first time on D&D? So I am going to live stream a bunch of four high schoolers, trying the very first time to play D&D. And we're going to see how that goes. So that will be in February, and we'll give you more information as we push it out. But there you go. That's what's happening.
Wild.
Let me know if you want that translated into a script.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Right?
I'm interested in
it can be fun.
tangent, a side quest, if you will.
Yep.
You can find me all over socials at Pixies and Pins, and I will be at GaryCon representing Actoroke, and I am often here doing things. Like I said, Friday nights, Sarah's Table, 5 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/GenConTV. We're doing Dead After Dinner on Friday. Next Friday, we're doing Chew, which is based on the comic book where you get to be a zombie that eats dead people to find out what happened to them. It's going to be a treat. And we have a lot of fun stuff coming up. And also, we just did a charity game to benefit the Trevor Project. We raised about $350, but the link is still open. And our goal is 500, but we're keeping that link open for like a month. And I can guarantee that we can just completely blow that number out of the water. So it is actually in the chat right now. But it's at Tiltify. It's our tiltify.com link. And it is over there. Yeah, Gen Con TV put it up for us. Thank you so much. Oh, and Peter has something to say.
I'm also on Table Takes.
You are also on Table Takes.
Yes. But
when
not
is
this
that?
week. I'm not this week because I'm traveling to Colorado to see my dad. But usually I'm on Table Takes. So.
And when would we find Table Takes, Peter?
It's on Fridays at 2 p.m. Pacific time. on right here on Gen Con TV.
Right here. Or if you are not catching us live or you want to look at back episodes, you can go to our YouTube channel, which is www.youtube.com/GenConVideo is what you need to see. Or youtube.com/World of Chaldea has all of our World of Chaldea stuff on it. I have given you every social handle on the planet, people who are watching. So just like I can't
Thank
give you
sir.
any more.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Ooh. So thank you
so
all
good.
for coming on and chatting about the process. Thank you to everybody who worked so hard on this particular film. It was a weird one.
Let's add a plug for
because of-
Tanel Lovett. Tanel Lovett did all the amazing illustrations.
Tanel was wonderful. Thank you, Tanel Lovett.
Thank you, Tanel.
Thank you to Bandersnatch for all of the practical effects. Thank you to Zoe for working on all of the tech for us. Thank you to Gen Con for giving us this platform on Gen Con TV. Thank you to everybody at home for sticking with us during this we definitely took several tangents, and I appreciate you staying with us on that. So come back next week, and there's more to see, and I guess we'll see you next time.
Right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
All right.
friends.
Take it easy. Bye.